Hello, world. It's day 13 of our quantum becoming. Got one more day to go after this one more video to go, and then we'll be through the whole 14 days of our quantum becoming. So, on day one, I did a kind of overview of many things, and then I've been covering each day since all the things that I was talking about in that overview on day one. So, today I thought, okay, what'll we do today? And I suddenly heard the words superconscious, superconnected. What does our quantum becoming look like? What does it look like in the daily living of your life and how things are different? So let me first talk about being super connected and being super conscious. Okay, so most of the world, and I say this from my own personal experience in the past, has been walking around quite unconscious. If you use the Matrix analogy, the movie, it's kind of like that. We've been encased in a consciousness of how life is supposed to be, of how we're supposed to operate, and it's given us certain limitations, I think. So what happens is when you move from unconscious to conscious, I think a lot of people would call that an awakening, where you become conscious, you become aware, you start to recognize things, you start to have a sense of intuition and sometimes knowing, and you are more aware of the energy around you, the potential of things. You start to live your life better. But to become super conscious is a whole different piece. Now, one of my ways of talking about that is that you use infinite intelligence, which I think was my day 2 video in this series on infinite intelligence. So you want to look at a lot more about that, you can see that video. But infinite intelligence is where we go beyond what's known already, beyond what's known in our own learning, consciousness, mind, programming, etc., or even what's known in the world's consciousness, and we become a part of a greater intelligence. So, as a super conscious being, you not only know stuff that isn't known yet and have the capacity to activate new possibilities for us all, but you have an awareness of the possibility of who we are yet to become, and you start to feel a calling in you to rise into that game, to say yes to that creation, that dream of us all. And then once you're super conscious, what happens is that everything kind of comes to you. So the emotional upheaval of what's normal about being human dissipates, and you enjoy your emotions no matter what they are, and you get the potential of them, and you begin to realize they might not even be yours. It might be an influence from the field, and it might be calling you into greater work, as an example. So a super conscious person would be very aware of that and would go for it. It has many other factors than just emotion. I would say magical. It's super magical. Life just becomes effortless, and things, just opportunities come to you, great friends come to you. Everything orients in a way, because I think when you're super conscious, at a conscious level, often people will talk about how something happens to you and what's the learning from that, that it might be something to learn from. But often those things kind of bang us around a bit. And when you're super conscious, you don't have to be banged around to get the potential. You kind of feel it coming anyways and get right aligned with it and get into the game of it. So you don't have to have lessons. You learn by absorption, and instantly. You move very rapidly and gracefully and graciously into whatever is the next new on offer for you, so you don't have to be kind of pushed and cajoled into it as a superconscious being. So those are just some of the things about being superconscious that to me makes a huge difference in the practical living of your life. So let me talk about being super connected. Okay, so being super connected, well, that's a whole different ball game as well. I think that at an unconscious level, if I use these three levels, so unconscious, conscious, superconscious, so disconnected, connected, and super connected. Okay, so disconnected is you even disconnected from yourself. You're kind of walking around like nobody's home. Believe me, I've had those times, as I'm sure we all have. And you kind of wander around in a bit of a haze when you're disconnected. And life occurs very strangely in that place. You find it hard to find a purpose or have any oomph or vitality in life when that happens. So when you move from disconnected to connected, you've kind of opened up and you're more in flow with yourself, and you're more connected with people, with animals, life forms, with the earth, with the universe. You're a bit more connected with it. So you're plugged in, you could say, to life. So there's a lot more flow with it. But super connected isn't just about being plugged in. You become the whole of the collectiveness of us, and you understand various aspects of the life forms or the sentient intelligence or the purpose and potential of things, and you have a capacity at the super connected level to be able to influence the whole by activating possibilities and actualizing them into reality. I guess you could call that consciousness innovation, is another way to say it, or future innovation is another way to say it. But it takes being super connected, and being super connected takes all of you. The whole of your being, the deep core, the greater infinite part of you, all of you is becoming the whole. You have a whole different aspect of sensing when that happens. So, for example, if I was just connected, I might get a little bit of stirring in the field, and I'd be like, oh, what's happening? So I might pay attention to it. But as super connected, I have the capacity to understand why it's happening, what it's for, and to actually set about doing something about that, to do what is my part to do that life wants to flow through me. I would call that quantum alchemy, where you become the all, you become the quantum field, you become the universe, you become the earth, whatever it is that you want to become. So you can see being super conscious and super connected makes such a difference. So in terms of using those two key pieces, I think that what does our quantum becoming look like? Well, I can tell you what it looks like for me. I am happy, and happier than I've ever been in my whole life. It's funny, I wouldn't use the terms I'm at peace or I'm content, because I have an oomph, excitement driving me forward. I have a curiosity for the adventure of sourcing a new future for us all. So I wouldn't say content, but I'm in flow, and I'm in a grace state. I'm in a knowing. And I laugh a lot more. There's a lightness to this that I wouldn't have thought was actually possible, because I was very serious and significant as I started the journey to all this. So back in the early 2000s, and even before that, very serious and significant. Like, this mattered, and we had to get the job done, and it had to be done right, etc., etc. So now I can be light about it, and I think it's not because it doesn't matter. No, it matters big time. It's more like I have access to the life power in order to be able to participate. So I am no longer powerless striving to make a difference. I am the life power sourcing the new earth, the new world for us all and with us all. It's all of us doing it, really. And anyone and everyone can do that. It's quite simple. It's not complicated at all when you get right down to it. So, what else does it look like? Abundance flows naturally and effortlessly. Just don't even have to think about it, actually. Magic is everywhere you look. And I can look back over the years and see just breathtaking that's been for Centauri and I in our lives. And I see it in my friend's life all the time, just this magic popping all the time. And I think you have to be super conscious and super connected in order to get it to be like that as a permanent way of being. I think as a conscious and connected being, you can get some magic to happen, certainly. But it's more of a lifestyle. It's a permanent flow. There's nothing it doesn't apply to, whether that's finding a new place to live, whether that's creating a new possibility for your work, whether that's growing a garden in an extraordinary way, or doing art and getting it into the world, or, whatever. This is very practical stuff. That's what I love about it. It's very, very practical. So let's just run through that so you get a sense of it, okay? So I'm not going to ask you to be disconnected and unconscious, as that's quite uncomfortable these days. But you know what that feels like. It's kind of like, there's just kind of a lack of energy, a lack of knowing, a lack of oomph in your life. Okay, so let's start from, you just open up, take a deep breath, think about life. What a great life, appreciate it, be thankful, and be conscious and connected. And you might even find that hard to do, because now that's like a lower vibrational state for those of us who are in super conscious and super connected. So if you find that hard to do, don't worry. So now go. Super conscious, super connected. And you live in a swirling, vibrating vortex of reality, of possibilities, of abundance, of callings, of visions, of genius, of innovation, of ideas pouring through you. It's a permanent way of living. Now, we'll all uniquely apply that into our own lives, and it will show up uniquely in our own lives. But there is a sense of exciting, exhilarating, high vibrational flow and knowing in that state. And that's where the magic comes from. And that's where the knowing comes from. And that's where, just the ability to be in the world wonderfully, to be in awe and wonder and deep, rich love of life on earth, of the earth itself, of the universe, of all of it. I'll say it again. When you fall in love with life, life gives you enormous wonders and takes you to this level of super conscious, super connected for our quantum leaping into the next levels of us. And all that I'm talking about is just the tip, the beginnings of the whole quantum evolution of us. What is coming? Woo! It's almost hard to describe. And I may, in my final video tomorrow, on the 14th video, I may give a look at what's yet to come. We'll see how that plays. Okay, that's it for today, everybody. Lots of love. Bye.